So, hello guys, welcome back to Genshin Impact 6.4 Varka Cirquest Part 3.
Hey, Honorary Knight. Looks like pretty much everyone's here. Albedo and Durin are just wrapping up their analysis. You want to wait for them here?
Wait for the meeting.
Great. While we're waiting, could you update me on the situation in Mondstadt? And that's where things stand. The Wild Hunt is no longer under the Rapier of Solnari's control, but it has been reborn from the ashes and is now launching widespread attacks. Intel from the Frostmoon Scions and the Curatorium of Secrets corroborates this. No disturbances have been detected in the space where Rere resides. What we are facing here is a completely new foe.
Summarizing current situation. To confirm, the present leader of the Wild Hunt is the creature resembling a wolf. Andrius, god of the North Wind.
More precisely, it's the external will that has seized control of Andrius' spirit, namely Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
Whoa. Hold on. I'm completely lost. Isn't Roland some Mondstadter from like 500 years ago? How'd he suddenly get wrapped up with a god from 1,000 years in the past and the present day Wild Hunt?
Allow us to explain that part.
Yeah, thank you.
Are you familiar with compensation mechanisms? When an organism sustains damage, relevant tissues will undergo changes to offset the loss of function. For example, when one kidney is damaged, the other will be strengthened to compensate. Or, when a main artery is blocked, the collateral vessels become more active. Similarly, when the Wild Hunt lost their leader, the Abyss harnessed the memories that flow throughout the ley lines to fashion a new one. Fit for the present circumstances, that new leader is a mirror image of Roland, the Bloodstained Knight.
So that wasn't real wrong.
Right. No matter how strong the compensation is, it will never quite match the functionality of the original organ. The Roland replica can't possibly imitate Barrier's overwhelming power, nor his ability to disguise himself as others. So, the Abyss made use of the connection between Roland and Boreas to compensate for this lack of power.
The replica corrupted and took control of Andrius as he slumbered by the bank of Eimsvartnir, ultimately manifesting as the giant beast that you all witnessed. However, exactly why the Abyss chose Roland to mimic, and indeed how it was able to do so, remains unclear.
I guess he must have gotten caught up with the Abyss or Nodcry somehow during his wanderings through Teyvat. But we could keep those questions on the back burner.
Okay, Paimon gets all that. But what did you mean when you said we can't kill him right now?
We can't kill him right now because a dead god may prove more dangerous than a living one. From intelligence gathered during the expedition, we have reason to believe that the power released when a god is felled can have catastrophic consequences for us mortals.
Like when the tower fell in storm tours later.
Worse still, the wrath that remains after a god's passing becomes a source of endless turmoil. Once god remains contaminate the land, they will persist for thousands of years.
Like the Tatarigami on Ishori Island and Tatarasuna in Yazuma, or the karmic death born by the Yaksh for millennia. Yeah, this.
This land has already been ravaged by the Wild Hunt. If we add god remains to the mix, it'd be like adding salt to an open wound, placing everyone who lives here in perilous danger.
Query. While I can indeed find records of disasters caused by god remains in my database, there also appear to be cases of gods dying naturally with no ill effects. In that land, the passing of the Pyro-Archon's flame is a common occurrence throughout history, and even the part of Andrius, who remains in Mondstadt, has experienced death once before, has he not?
Great question. Glad you asked. Honorary Knight, you said Lupus Boreas gave you a token to pass on to me? Please, present it now. It should help explain things faster. Come forth, Boreas.
Ah!
This form has come to the end of its time. I'm afraid I can accompany you no further on your journey. My soul will fall into silence, and my power will flow into the ley lines of this land. Perhaps this is all that a wolf can hope to do for humankind. Do not grieve for me, for this is the end I have chosen. Instead, remember that one day, your wandering too must come to an end. Where and when shall that be? A final wish before I slumber. Sing me a song. That melody you so often hummed in the taverns.
What was that?
You saw it too. You must have keen powers of perception. Not that it surprises me. That was Boreas' final thoughts before merging with the ley lines. It's the reason Mondstadt remains unharmed by his god remains. In his final moments, he made a choice to give everything he was to the ley lines. All to protect Mondstadt from harm.
Sounds like Andrea spent thousands of years searching for his place in the world, too.
Yes. And now our task is to return the answer he found, the decision he made, to Andreas' heart. Only then can he break free from the corruption and control of the Abyss, and make that decision once more.
To merge himself with the ley lines.
I see. I would say that planting thoughts inside the mind of a god sounds a little far-fetched, but since it was his own wish to begin with, it sounds feasible to me.
Wait, we already have a perfect solution? Then why are we even having this meeting? Let's go do this thing!
If only it were that simple. Unfortunately, this one thought alone is unlikely to be powerful enough to break through the Abyss's control and reach Andreas' heart. We need to find a way to make the thought within this sword stronger and more resilient.
For now, Boreas needs all his remaining strength to fight against the abyssal corruption to Mondstadt's ley lines. He can't afford to send us any more of his power. However, since his form was unstable during his journey with the first Knight of Boreas, many wolf spirit fragments were left behind along the way. If we can collect those fragments, we can use them to strengthen the decision to merge with the ley lines.
So we need to retrace his steps and look for random fragments? But they could be anywhere between Nodcry and Mondstadt. It'll be like looking for a needle in a haystack.
You don't need to worry about that. There's a few fragments left to gather in Nodcry, but apart from that, most of them are already inside this sword. I've been collecting them during the whole expedition.
Huh? Wait, really?
I mean, it's an expedition, not a stroll in the park. Each step of the way, we've been hard at work planning for every possible contingency. Not just the wild hunt in the Abyss, but ancient gods remaining in Nodcry.
Sounds like this plan was a long time in the making. That's almost as if you foresaw the future.
As a matter of fact, I did. I caught a glimpse of fate's reflection. But I can't take credit for it. It was all thanks to the help of a few friends. Still, all I foresaw was that an abyssal calamity was brewing in the north. Had I known more, we could have saved a lot of energy. Instead, we've had to make best guesses, prepare for every possible scenario. If all that preparation went to waste, all the better for it. But anything that proved useful, we knew we'd be grateful for down the line.
And sure enough, now it's proving useful.
Sure is. Just one crucial step remains. We need to gather the last few wolf spirit fragments scattered around Nodcry, and use them to make the thought within this sword as strong as it could possibly be. According to what Boreas told me before we left Mondstadt, His form was at its most unstable at the beginning of his journey. That means the fragments here should be the most powerful ones. But of course, we've been tied up fighting battles since the day we set foot in Outcry. First with the Wild Hunt, then with the Doctor. So, it wasn't until recently that we were finally able to confirm the status of the Wolf Spirit fragments. We now know there are 3 left to find.
Okay, so 3 more mini expeditions to go.
I managed to gather 1 fragment before Roland reappeared. I also have a confirmed location for the second, which I'll take care of in short order. As for the 3rd fragment, we've identified a general search area to focus on, but we'll need all hands on deck to pinpoint the exact location.
Wow, you have made a lot of progress already.
The final snag is that since our foe is a replica of Roland, he too will be aware of Andrias' history. He's sure to try and sabotage our plans by any means at his disposal. So everyone needs to bring their A game.
With our foe being from Mondstadt, it's our duty as Mondstadters to defeat him.
And since the Wild Hunt is involved, the Lightkeepers will provide their full support.
The Clink Clink Crumb Pocket Craft Shop will also help in any way we can.
So what do they need me here for? Wait, I think maybe I signed a contract at some point. Didn't exactly scrutinize it though. I mean, who actually reads those things anyway, right?
Ah, great. Knew I could count on you all. Lastly, our friend from the Curatorium of Secrets will provide intel and relay battlefield communications. Looking at you, Yehoda.
So, you'll be darting back and forth across the battlefield, dodging the Wild Hunt and the shadow of an ancient god. I'm impressed by your courage, Miss Yehoda.
Rating for Yehoda updated. Higher quality ingredients will be used to prepare your future meals.
Darn it! I should have known this payday wouldn't come that easy.
I'll deal with the second Wolf Spirit fragment, which we already know the location of. The moment you make any progress with Fragment 3, be sure to give me an update. Traveler, could you join me in retrieving Fragment 2? I have a feeling that your unique constitution might come in handy.
Sure. I was just about to ask what my job was.
All right. Time is of the essence. Let's move out, people. Dismissed!
Didn't you say Fragment 2 was supposed to be right here? Where the heck is it?
The frick?
Seems like we've run into a slight hindrance. Can I leave this to you, Honorary Knight?
Yeah, and what is that?
Traveler, Paimon, when this is all over, I'm gonna invite you around for a drink of...
Whoa! Stop thinking about Mondstadt's wine and get your head in the game! You can't be daydreaming about alcohol before a battle!
Huh? Well, all right, just trying to lift our spirits a little. You want to see some photos I took of me and the knights before the expedition, maybe?
Shut up! Can we please just focus on finding the Wolf Spirit fragment?
Okay. Oh, okay, finally, god damn it.
Is this what we're looking for? What do we do with it?
I once got Boreas to explain to me how he stores his soul inside objects. All I need to do is transfer it to my sword. Just like back at the camp, but this time, you'd best step back a bit, just in case.
Oh.
So, you're saying you don't know how to love people, and you don't understand human love either.
Why do you laugh?
Sorry, I just think the fact you're ruminating on this is all the proof you need that you have love in your heart. I have a funny feeling that by the time this journey ends, you'll have found your own answer to the question of how to love.
No. You're wrong. There is no redemption at the end of this path. Even if I am stained black with blood, my conscience will remain as white as snow. If pledging allegiance to the abyss is the only way to sever the injustice of fate, then I shall serve in its name.
Oh, sure enough, this place has been corrupted by Roland's will. Whew. I'm fine. I was prepared for this. It wasn't enough to pose a serious threat. We got here just in time. The fragment hasn't been fully corrupted yet. Assuming we can undo the damage, it should still be usable.
You want me to purify it?
Purifying the abyssal corruption would definitely be a safe approach. But that's not the only reason I wanted you to come. Could you try reversing the corruption? Not purifying it, exactly, but separating out the Roland part from the wolf spirit.
So,
I could try.
the Roland part intact as well as the wolf spirit part? Why would you want to do that?
Firstly, to test whether it's possible. And secondly, to view Roland's memories. As they say, know thyself, know thy enemy. Understanding our foe is our surest path to defeating him.
I never tried it before.
Let me think. How was it explained to me? Ah, yes. Focus on a single thought within the 1,000 winds. Capture that unique wisp before it blows away.
I have no idea what it means.
Actually, neither do I.
What?
Sounds like something a certain tone-deaf bard would come up with when he can't think of anything meaningful to say. Wait, don't tell Paimon that's what actually happened.
I thought it might mean something to you. Never mind. I'll explain it in more human terms. Traveler, when you were in Natland, you went fishing for ancient names, correct?
Yeah. Yes, actually, sort of.
If I'm not mistaken, the Night Kingdom was like a river flowing with concepts, and you were trying to capture the concept belonging to a particular ancient name. I'm thinking the same basic principles should apply here.
Okay, but back then, we had a bow and a net. This time, we don't have anything at all.
This wolf spirit fragment is like a puddle compared to the Night Kingdom. No need for a boat. As for a net, this is what I've heard.
Thoughts and emotions are like interwoven threads. They can create a net, or they can create a rope. They can separate love from hatred, and they can bind objects and events together.
How the hell do you know Naoika?
Thought is the anchor for a being's existence, through which emotions are drawn forth.
But maybe I'm not. Okay. Okay, I think I'm kind of starting to get it.
Also, we don't really know anything about Roland. How are we supposed to use thoughts to anchor him?
Well, maybe you could try this.
What is it? It looks old and tattered.
It's an unsent letter written by the wolf pup Rostam, Knight of Boreas, from 500 years ago. It was meant for his disciple, the White Knight Roland.
That's a heck of a thing to have sitting in your back pocket.
After Rostam lost his life in the Abyssal Calamity, Roland left Mondstadt to wander to Vat. Grandmaster Arundelen had wanted to deliver this letter to him. But trying to track Roland down was like chasing a shadow. He never did find him. And so this letter has been sitting at the Knights of Favonia's headquarters ever since.
Quite the antique then. But how exactly is it supposed to anchor Roland?
Yeah, I'm honestly not sure.
Hey, what happened to Mr. Plans for every contingency? You're just making this up as you go along.
What can I say? Some people like to wait till they've got all their ducks in a row before taking the first step, but I prefer to dive on in and plan as I go. I've been doing it that way for the whole expedition. But anyway, don't they say that poetry and letters were humanity's earliest means of expressing their thoughts? Can't hurt to give it a try, surely.
We might as well see what happened. Might purify more with a wool, whatever that is. Oh! Hello?
It actually worked?
You really are making this up as you go along!
So the assimilation of souls really can be reversed. Just like he said.
Got him.
If what you say is true, the monsters I've slain, the justice I have sought to uphold, for mortals to escape this tragic fate, there's only one path. A great and ancient kingdom was wrongfully cursed, turning its inhabitants into monsters. The code of chivalry tolerates not such injustice. If Abyss be thy name, I pledge to you my loyalty.
And that is where the blood-stained knight's tale came to an end. With that, he bade his humanity farewell. I dare say you must find it quite ironic, Knight of Boreas.
That I... Dainsleif? No. It bore a striking resemblance, but that wasn't him. While we gazed into the past, he was gazing right back at us. Could it be...
Vilfunir.
So that's what happened. After leaving Mondstadt and wandering the land, Roland ventured underground and saw a revelation from the visionary. Once he had learned of Conria's fate, he saw the gods' judgment as the greatest injustice. So he surrendered himself to the Abyss, giving them his knowledge, his power, his everything. That's why the Abyss can replicate him.
Uh-oh. Does this mean we have to take on the Visionary this time?
No, the founder of the Abyss Order was once shown a revelation based on his experience at the last. The Visionary is unlikely to intervene directly.
I'm inclined to agree. If our enemy could see the future, both the Wild Hunt and Roland would be acting with far more lethal precision. But even without the Visionary's input, Roland still has an intel advantage we can't afford to underestimate. Every minion of the Wild Hunt serves as Roland's eyes and ears. We need to think one step ahead if we want to outmaneuver him. And on that note, I have a plan I want to discuss with you.
Now? Why didn't you bring it up during the meeting?
Well, the fewer people who know, the less likely it is to get leaked. Besides, it wasn't a fully formed plan back then.
Okay.
That about covers it. Sorry to ask so much of you again.
It's too dangerous.
No plan is free of risks. At least this one actually gives us a shot at fully eliminating the danger posed by this ancient god. Surely that's gotta make the risk worth taking.
But there's no guarantee that it'll work.
If I fail, Anselm and Albedo can take the reins. Not to mention we still have Jean in Mondstadt.
Oh, there has to be another way! Like a backup plan?
If only there were. But I don't think our enemy will give us enough time to find one.
Hey! Are you guys done here yet?
Ah, Yehoda! Yes, we've successfully retrieved the Wolf Spirit fragment here. Any progress with Fragment 3?
No. It's a total disaster! More Wild Hunt monsters than I've seen in my whole life! We need backup urgently! Come quick!
Come on, we're out of time. You'll just have to trust me on this one.
You're making too many decisions on your own.
What can I say? I'm not the Grand Master for nothing. I'm counting on you, Honorary Knight.
The forces of the Wild Hunt come surging forth. The final expedition is at hand. The next part of the story is more conscious. Over this experience, it is recommended that you spare
with you
more
next
time
time.
for it. Okay, wait. Does this mean that this now will take me 3 hours to do like the previous Orphan Quest? Because this time, I'm not dumb. So I'm gonna stop right here, and the next video is gonna probably be more than twice bigger. So yeah.